Welcome back to our channel. Have you ever let anger take control, only to regret the words or actions you couldn't take back? We've all been there. Those moments when rage burns so intensely, it feels like it's consuming everything around us. But did you know that anger doesn't just hurt others, it destroys the peace within us too? In today's fast-paced world, where pressure, frustration, and conflict surround us, anger has become one of the leading causes of mental health issues. It tears apart relationships and blocks progress in our careers. But pause for a moment. What if I told you there's a way to transform anger from your worst enemy into your greatest teacher? Today, we're diving into the art of mastering anger with Stoic philosophy, a timeless approach that has helped millions across the globe lead calmer, more patient, and ultimately happier lives. If you've ever wanted to reclaim your inner peace, this is the video for you. Don't miss it. Share your thoughts in the comments below and make sure to subscribe to the channel so we can continue this journey of building a more fulfilling life together. Now, let's dive into the heart of today's topic, uncovering the root causes of anger and learning how to control it with wisdom and grace. Understanding anger through the lens of Stoicism. Anger, it's a universal emotion. We've all experienced it, haven't we? That flash of heat when someone wrongs us, the rush of adrenaline when life feels unfair. But have you ever paused to ask yourself, what is anger? Where does it come from and why does it wield such power over our lives? What is anger? Anger is a natural human response, rooted in our biology. It's our brain's way of signaling that something feels wrong, unjust, or threatening. In the early days of human evolution, anger served an essential role. It prepared us for survival, sharpening our senses and readying our bodies to confront danger. If a predator approached, anger spurred us into action, fight or flight. But fast forward to the modern world, where most of us are not fending off predators in the wild. Instead, our triggers for anger often stem from things like traffic jams, workplace frustrations, or misunderstandings with loved ones. While the emotion remains natural, its consequences in today's context can be anything but helpful. The consequences of anger. Unchecked anger can be profoundly destructive, not only to those around us, but also to our own well-being. Consider these effects. Physical health. Anger can lead to heightened blood pressure, chronic stress, and long-term damage to our heart health. Relationships. Anger disrupts trust, breaks bonds, and creates rifts between friends, family, and colleagues. Decision-making. When we're angry, our judgment is clouded. We react impulsively, often making choices that we regret later. The Stoics recognized these dangers long before modern science validated them. Marcus Aurelius, a Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher, wrote, "How much more harmful are the consequences of anger than the circumstances that aroused it in us?" This timeless wisdom reminds us that anger itself is not the problem, it's our reaction to it that matters. Stoic philosophy on anger. At its core, Stoicism teaches that we cannot control external events, only our responses to them. Epictetus, another great Stoic philosopher, said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." This perspective is revolutionary because it shifts the locus of control from the external world to our internal mindset. When anger arises, Stoicism challenges us to see it not as a force beyond our control, but as an opportunity for growth. Anger, the Stoics teach, is a misalignment between our expectations and reality. We become angry because we expect people to act fairly, circumstances to unfold smoothly, and the world to meet our desires. When these expectations aren't met, anger flares. The antidote? Adjusting our expectations. Marcus Aurelius reminds us, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength." Turning anger into growth. Imagine a scenario. You're stuck in traffic, running late for an important meeting. Anger begins to bubble up. The Stoic approach in this moment isn't to suppress the anger, but to examine it. Ask yourself, why am I angry? Is this traffic within my control? Shift your focus. Recognize that your frustration stems from an expectation. That traffic should flow freely and accommodate your schedule. Let go of that expectation. Take action. Use this time productively. Listen to an inspiring podcast, reflect on your goals, or simply practice patience. By reframing the situation, you not only dissolve the anger but also transform the experience into one of personal growth. Practical lessons from the Stoics. The Stoics offer practical tools for mastering anger. Pause before reacting. When you feel anger rising, take a moment, count to 10, breathe deeply, or step away from the situation. This pause can prevent impulsive reactions. Focus on what you can control. As Epictetus advised, redirect your energy toward your thoughts and actions, rather than fixating on external triggers. Practice empathy. Often, anger arises from misunderstandings. Try to see the situation from the other person's perspective. Cultivate patience. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injury." Responding with patience and grace, rather than anger, disarms negativity and strengthens your character. Why mastering anger matters. When we learn to master anger, we unlock a deeper sense of peace and clarity. Instead of being reactive, we become proactive. Instead of allowing emotions to control us, we control them. This mastery doesn't mean suppressing emotions, but rather understanding and channeling them constructively. Think about it. How many times has anger clouded your judgment, caused unnecessary conflict, or left you feeling drained? Now imagine a life where anger no longer dictates your actions. A life where you respond to challenges with wisdom and resilience. A question for reflection. As we conclude this exploration of anger and Stoicism, I leave you with a question. What if the next time anger arises, you viewed it not as a burden, but as a teacher? What lessons might it hold for you, and how could those lessons transform your life? Share your thoughts in the comments below. I'd love to hear how Stoicism might inspire you to see anger in a new light. And remember, the power to change how you experience anger lies not in the world around you, but within yourself. Principles of mastering anger with Stoicism. Now that we understand anger's nature and its impact, let's explore how Stoic philosophy provides a framework to not only control anger, but transform it into a powerful tool for personal growth. Stoicism offers timeless principles that, when applied, can fundamentally change how we perceive and respond to this emotion. Understanding the root of anger. One of the key teachings of Stoicism is the importance of identifying the root cause of our emotions. Anger doesn't arise out of thin air. It's a reaction to our expectations not being met. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it, and this you have the power to revoke at any moment." For example, you feel anger when someone cuts you off in traffic because you expect drivers to be courteous. You're enraged when a colleague takes credit for your work because you expect fairness in the workplace. The Stoic approach is to question these expectations. Why do you believe the world must conform to your ideals? By letting go of rigid expectations, you reduce the power these events have over you. Practicing control over your reactions. Epictetus famously said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." This is the cornerstone of emotional mastery. You cannot control the behavior of others, but you have absolute control over your response. Here's a practice to try. When anger begins to rise, pause. Take a few deep breaths. This moment of stillness creates a gap between the trigger and your reaction. Ask yourself, is this within my control? If the answer is no, let it go. Redirect your energy toward actions that align with your values. By focusing on what you can control, your thoughts and actions, you reclaim your power from the external world. The role of empathy in managing anger. Anger often stems from a lack of understanding. We judge others harshly, assuming their actions are intentionally harmful. Stoicism encourages us to approach such situations with empathy. Marcus Aurelius advised, "Whenever you are about to find fault with someone, ask yourself the following question. What fault of mine most nearly resembles the one I am about to criticize?" Practical steps to cultivate empathy. Consider their perspective. What might have led the person to act as they did? Could it be a mistake or misunderstanding? Acknowledge shared humanity. Recognize that everyone makes errors just as you do. Empathy doesn't excuse bad behavior, but it helps you respond with wisdom rather than rage. Transforming anger into personal growth. Instead of viewing anger as a weakness, Stoicism reframes it as an opportunity for growth. Seneca wrote, "The greatest remedy for anger is delay." In the space created by pausing, you can reflect on what triggered your anger. Identify lessons the situation holds. Choose a response aligned with your higher self. For example, a frustrating encounter with a coworker can teach you patience. An unfair critique can strengthen your ability to separate constructive feedback from unwarranted criticism. Every moment of anger is a chance to practice self-mastery. The power of perspective. A hallmark of Stoic philosophy is its emphasis on perspective. What feels unbearable in the moment often seems trivial in hindsight. Marcus Aurelius advised, "Think of yourself as dead. You have lived your life, now take what's left and live it properly." This exercise encourages you to step back from the immediate situation and see the bigger picture. Will this issue matter in a week, a month, or a year? Does this problem deserve the energy you're giving it? By zooming out, you can prioritize what truly matters and let go of minor irritations. Practicing gratitude and forgiveness. Gratitude and forgiveness are antidotes to anger. When you focus on what you appreciate, it becomes harder to dwell on grievances. Likewise, forgiveness frees you from the weight of resentment. Steps to practice gratitude and forgiveness. Daily gratitude journal. Write down 3 things you're grateful for each day, even during challenging times. Forgiveness. Exercise. Visualize the person who angered you. Imagine letting go of the anger, not for their benefit, but for your peace of mind. As Seneca said, "To forgive is an act of the soul, not of the flesh." Anchoring yourself in Stoic rituals. To consistently manage anger, integrate Stoic rituals into your daily life. Morning reflection. Begin each day by visualizing potential challenges and mentally preparing to respond with patience and grace. Evening journaling. Reflect on the day's events. Ask yourself, what triggered my anger? How could I have handled it better? Mindfulness meditation. Practice being present in the moment, which helps you stay calm and centered when anger arises. These rituals strengthen your emotional resilience over time. The wisdom of accepting impermanence. The Stoics remind us that everything in life is temporary. Anger often stems from clinging to what we cannot keep, be it relationships, possessions, or expectations. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Loss is nothing else but change, and change is nature's delight." When you accept impermanence, you free yourself from the pain of resistance. Instead of fighting reality, you flow with it, finding peace even in adversity. Aligning actions with virtue. The Stoics believed that true fulfillment comes from living in accordance with a virtue. When anger tempts you to act out of alignment with your values, remind yourself of this principle. Courage. Face challenges without fear. Justice. Treat others fairly, even when they wrong you. Temperance. Maintain self-control in all circumstances. Wisdom. Seek understanding before judgment. By anchoring your actions in virtue, you transcend anger and cultivate inner strength. A Stoic mantra for anger. In moments of anger, repeating a Stoic mantra can help ground you. For instance, "This too shall pass." "I control my reactions, not the world." "What is within my power is enough." Choose a phrase that resonates with you and use it as a mental anchor during turbulent times. Mastery over anger as a path to freedom. Mastering anger is not about suppressing it or denying its existence. It's about understanding it, reframing it, and responding to it with wisdom. Through the teachings of Stoicism, we learn that anger is not our enemy, it's our teacher. Imagine a life where anger no longer controls you, where each challenge becomes an opportunity for growth, and where peace of mind is your default state. This is the freedom Stoicism offers. So I leave you with this question. The next time anger arises, will you let it overpower you, or will you use it as a stepping stone toward becoming your best self? Let's continue this journey of growth together. Share your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more insights into Stoic philosophy and living a life of purpose and clarity. Practical applications of Stoic principles to manage anger. Understanding anger and its triggers is a powerful start, but the transformation truly happens when we apply Stoic principles in our daily lives. Stoicism isn't just a philosophy to ponder. It's a way of life designed to guide us through real-world challenges. Let's explore practical strategies to channel anger into a force for growth and mastery. The power of pausing. The moment anger begins to rise, it often feels like a tidal wave, overwhelming and unstoppable. But one of the most effective tools to combat this surge is to pause. Seneca wisely said, "The greatest remedy for anger is delay." When you pause, you disrupt the momentum of anger, creating space to think clearly. How to apply this? When anger flares, take a deep breath and count to 10. Physically step away from the situation, giving yourself time to regain composure. Use this pause to remind yourself of Marcus Aurelius's teaching. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. This simple practice transforms impulsive reactions into thoughtful responses. Reframing triggers. The Stoics teach that events themselves don't make us angry. It's our interpretation of them. As Epictetus said, "Men are disturbed not by things, but by the view they take of them." Reframing is the process of shifting your perspective to see a situation differently. Imagine you're criticized in a meeting. Your initial reaction might be anger, interpreting the criticism as an attack. But what if you reframed it as an opportunity to grow? How to reframe? Ask yourself, what can I learn from this? Consider the critic's perspective. Could their intention be to help, not harm? View the situation as a chance to practice patience and humility. Reframing helps you shift from frustration to growth-oriented thinking. Daily practices to build resilience. Building emotional resilience is like training a muscle. It requires consistent effort. The Stoics offer several daily practices to strengthen your ability to manage anger. Morning. Reflection. Start each day by visualizing potential challenges and preparing your mind to respond calmly. Example: today, I might face rude people, delays, or disappointments. I will not let these control my emotions. Evening journaling. Reflect on the day. Ask yourself, what triggered my anger? How did I respond? How could I handle similar situations better in the future? Mindful breathing. Practice deep, intentional breathing to center yourself, especially during stressful moments. These practices build the mental discipline needed to stay grounded in the face of anger. Channeling anger into constructive action. Anger, when channeled wisely, can be a powerful motivator for change. Instead of letting anger consume you, use it as fuel to address the root cause of your frustration. Steps to channel anger. Identify the source of your anger. Is it a systemic issue, a personal misunderstanding, or unmet expectations? Decide on a constructive course of action. For example, O, if workplace policies frustrate you, propose a solution. O, if a relationship issue angers you, communicate your feelings calmly and seek resolution. Take action with a focus on improvement, not retaliation. As Seneca noted, anger, if not restrained, is frequently more hurtful to us than the injury that provokes it. By channeling anger constructively, you turn it into a force for good. Building emotional distance. Sometimes, the best way to manage anger is to emotionally detach from the situation. This doesn't mean ignoring the problem, but creating enough distance to gain perspective. Marcus Aurelius encouraged this practice. You can leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think. Reflecting on life's impermanence helps put trivial annoyances into perspective. How to practice emotional distance. Mentally step back and ask, will this matter a year from now? Remind yourself that your peace of mind is more valuable than winning an argument or proving a point. Practice letting go of minor grievances by focusing on the bigger picture. Emotional distance empowers you to prioritize what truly matters. Practicing compassion and forgiveness. The Stoics believed in treating others with kindness, even when wronged. Epictetus taught, When someone behaves badly, consider that they must believe their actions are right. So instead of being angry, pity them for their ignorance. How to cultivate compassion. Replace anger with curiosity. Ask yourself, what might this person be going through? Practice forgiveness, not as a gift to the other person, but as a way to free yourself from resentment. Forgiveness doesn't excuse bad behavior, but it liberates you from the emotional burden of anger. Decluttering your mind with Stoic simplicity. Anger thrives in a cluttered mind filled with distractions, anxieties, and unmet expectations. Stoic simplicity involves focusing on what truly matters and letting go of unnecessary mental noise. Steps to simplify. Identify your core values, what genuinely matters to you. Let go of external validation and the need to control others. Embrace the present moment with gratitude and acceptance. When your mind is clear, you're less likely to be overwhelmed by anger. Developing a Stoic response framework. To consistently handle anger with grace, create a personal framework inspired by Stoic principles. Recognize, notice the physical and emotional signs of anger. Pause. Take a deep breath and resist the urge to react immediately. Reflect. Ask yourself, is this within my control? What are my expectations, and are they reasonable? How can I respond in alignment with my values? Act. Choose a response that prioritizes wisdom, patience, and virtue. This framework empowers you to respond thoughtfully rather than react impulsively. Using anger as a mirror, anger often reveals more about ourselves than the external trigger. Marcus Aurelius noted, "The things you think about determine the quality of your mind." Use moments of anger as opportunities for self-reflection. Questions for self-examination. Why does this bother me? What personal insecurities or fears might this situation be exposing? How can I grow from this experience? By seeing anger as a mirror, you gain insights into your values, triggers, and areas for growth. Celebrating progress, not perfection. Finally, remember that managing anger is a journey, not a destination. The Stoics didn't expect perfection. They valued progress. Celebrate small victories, like pausing before reacting or reframing a frustrating situation. As Marcus Aurelius said, "Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one." Each moment of growth brings you closer to living a life of wisdom and tranquility. Turning philosophy into action. Stoicism isn't just a set of ideas, it's a practical guide to navigating life's challenges with strength and clarity. By applying these principles, you can transform anger from a destructive force into a catalyst for personal growth and deeper understanding. Imagine waking up each day with the confidence that no external event can disturb your inner peace. This is the power of Stoic philosophy, a life where you are in control of your reactions, grounded in wisdom, and free from the chains of anger. So, here's a question to reflect on. What would your life look like if you viewed anger not as an obstacle, but as an opportunity to grow? Share your thoughts in the comments below and join the conversation. Together, let's build a community of wisdom, resilience, and purpose. Don't forget to subscribe for more insights into Stoic philosophy and practical tools for living your best life. To embracing Stoicism to master anger. As we reach the final part of this journey, it's time to reflect on what we've learned and how Stoic philosophy offers a transformative approach to anger. Mastering anger isn't about suppressing your emotions or pretending to be unaffected. It's about understanding your feelings, reframing your perspective, and taking deliberate steps toward inner peace and clarity. The key lessons on anger. Through the lens of Stoicism, we've uncovered that anger is natural, but not inevitable. It arises from unmet expectations, yet we have the power to change how we react. Our reaction defines the outcome. External events are beyond our control, but our response is entirely up to us. Anger is a teacher, not an enemy. It reveals our attachments, insecurities, and areas for growth. These principles remind us that we are not prisoners of our emotions. We are the architects of our responses. As Marcus Aurelius said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Realize this, and you will find strength. Why mastering anger matters. Anger doesn't just affect us in the moment, it has long-term consequences on our mental and physical well-being, relationships, and overall happiness. When left unchecked, it damages our health by increasing stress and tension, erodes trust and connection in relationships, clouds our judgment, leading to poor decisions. By mastering anger, we gain not just control over our emotions, but also the freedom to live a life aligned with our values. Imagine responding to life's challenges with grace instead of frustration, clarity instead of confusion, and resilience instead of regret. Integrating Stoicism into your daily life. The beauty of Stoicism lies in its practicality. To truly master anger, make these principles a daily practice. Morning preparation. Begin your day by visualizing potential triggers and committing to respond with patience. Use affirmations such as, "I will focus on what I can control and let go of the rest." Midday. Check-ins. Pause during the day to assess your emotional state. Are you carrying unresolved anger? Take a moment to breathe, reflect, and reset. Evening. Reflection. End your day by journaling about your experiences. What triggered your anger? How did you handle it? What could you do differently next time? Adopt a Stoic mantra, or use a simple mantra to ground yourself during moments of frustration like, "This too shall pass," or "I control my reactions, not the world." These small, consistent actions build the emotional discipline needed to navigate life's challenges with strength and clarity. The transformative power of anger. When approached with wisdom, anger can become a tool for personal growth. It sharpens your self-awareness, revealing your triggers and unmet expectations. It strengthens your ability to pause, reflect, and choose thoughtful responses. It deepens your empathy, helping you understand the perspectives and struggles of others. Epictetus reminds us, when you are offended at any man's fault, turn to yourself and study your own failings. Then, you will forget your anger. By redirecting our focus inward, anger becomes less about external events and more about our journey towards self-mastery. A new perspective on challenges. Imagine approaching every challenge, not with dread or frustration, but with curiosity and courage. Stoicism encourages us to see obstacles as opportunities. A difficult colleague becomes a chance to practice patience. A traffic jam becomes a moment to embrace stillness. A harsh critique becomes an opportunity to refine and grow. This mindset shift transforms everyday frustrations into moments of empowerment. As Marcus Aurelius said, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." Building a life of virtue and peace. At its core, mastering anger is about living in alignment with virtue. Courage, facing challenges without fear or resentment. Temperance, maintaining self-control even in the face of provocation. Justice, treating others with fairness even when wronged. Wisdom, responding thoughtfully, guided by reason rather than impulse. When we live according to these principles, we cultivate a life of peace, purpose, and fulfillment. Embrace the Stoic path. As we conclude, consider how these teachings can reshape your life. The next time anger arises, pause and reflect. What is within my control? How can I respond in a way that aligns with my values? What lesson does this moment hold for me? These questions empower you to move from reaction to reflection, from frustration to growth. Anger is not your enemy. It's a guide, revealing the areas where you have the most potential to grow. By embracing Stoic principles, you reclaim your power, transform your mindset, and build a life of resilience and inner peace. So, I leave you with this. What would your life look like if you mastered your anger, not by suppressing it, but by transforming it into wisdom and strength? Share your thoughts in the comments below. I'd love to hear how these principles resonate with you. And don't forget to subscribe for more insights into Stoic philosophy and practical tools for living a life of purpose, peace, and clarity. Let's continue this journey together.